afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Well, I would like to introduce today's
Is that better?
It's Jessica Lewis, who is
Okay.
the owner of
Sorry
Local
about that, guys.
Enterprises. And Jessica has over 20 years of experience working in training, human services, sales, and construction capacities. She holds a BS in psychology and an MS in business management with a focus on project management, which lends her the expertise to understand human behavior, organization culture, and managing programs, projects, and others. She has a long history of entrepreneurship with a variety of businesses, radio shows, the list goes on and on. Right now, she currently has a business consultancy firm, a finance company for business and real estate, and her green construction firm. All three help solve social issues that help underdogs get ahead through education, mentoring, and training methods not taught in traditional schools. And today she's going to be discussing how to live green in a not so green world. Jessica?
Thank you.
Thank you all for having me here today. I'm honored, and I hope to be a member very soon as well.
Yay.
Today we're going to discuss how to be green in a not so green world. As Laura just mentioned, I am the owner of Local Enterprises. We're a green construction firm. We build residential and commercial structures out of shipping containers.
It's working on that screen, but it's not working up there.
Oh, maybe it has a lag.
With this, number one here, let's see what's there.
It was working earlier. There we go. All right, let's see. All right, perfect. Okay, great. So today's agenda for our brief session is to understand a little bit about myself and my company, my partner, what we offer, how we benefit others through our products, as well as some uses and examples of what we've done. I, along with my partner, Stephen Smith, are the two owners of Mobile Enterprises. He and I together have a collective amount of experience of about 20 years in the construction industry. We've built anything from tiny homes all the way up to commercial structures. You name it, we can build it. And so what we are focusing on now is the use of shipping containers as a way to use products and containers that just sit around at our port and do nothing. And so back in the day when we used to play with Legos, we really enjoyed that. So now that we're adults and we can do the same thing, we had to take advantage of it. So now we do it with shipping containers. Some of our projects stem from literally doing the smallest of houses that are about 320 square feet, all the way up to multi-family, office buildings, resorts, you name it, we have built it. A lot of our projects have been internationally, and now we're trying to have more of a home base here domestically. We have offices in Wyoming, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. I actually am from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and so that was my home base. And then eventually we started doing a lot of products and projects on the West Coast, and so we had to have an office there, and now we're staying here in Georgia. So we're hoping to be able to provide some great use for the containers here in the local area. I am locally here in Macon, Georgia. My office is on Eisenhower Parkway, and my goal is to help reuse small lots, as well as be able to do some affordable housing projects with the use of shipping containers. So just a little bit about our nonprofit. Our nonprofit focuses on helping communities rebuild through the use of recyclable materials. So we live in a world where so many things are taken for granted. So many products are just thrown away. We don't use them for anything. Our project and our company is fully green. So the only thing that's not green that goes into our projects probably are our plumbing and our electricity, but everything else is recyclable, and we purchase locally. We use something which you guys will learn about a little bit later called Smart Steel, that is actually manufactured in Roberta, and it's an awesome product that pairs very well with shipping containers. Our main goal is to foster partnerships with organizations who are looking to lower their environmental impact. Why? Because right now, as you guys see with our climate change, I don't know if y'all noticed, but during COVID, we had a lot less rain. And the minute people start moving around again, we noticed that the environmental impact was there just from the pollution. And so even with our partners, we're hoping to always have relationships with people who are very mindful of how what they do impact their environments. And lastly, our projects and our partners, we help revitalize areas. We're improving blighted neighborhoods. We're hoping to acquire some land here in the inner city part of Macon to be able to do some projects to kind of revitalize spaces through the use of new construction. And we hire locally. Some other things that is important about our company is we are very big on community involvement. And so part of what we do is through our community relations team, we actually are establishing project websites. So every place that we do projects so the community and other stakeholders can see what's going on, we typically create a portion on our website that shows updates. So from the time we break ground all the way until we complete our project. Now the purpose of that is so that it has full transparency within our communities, because quite naturally we do want people to be involved. We want our community members to have a say. We want them to be able to stay informed about how we are doing things within their community. And so we also sometimes have town hall meetings where we invite our members out to some of our business spaces where you guys can give us input, tell us what makes sense or what does not make sense for your community. But more importantly, we always want input. So if something is working or not working, that's the purpose of those meetings. Furthermore, those public meetings are also to help communities stay engaged. Because we hire locally, we also try to be very transparent in what our hiring practices are, the type of people we hire, and partnering with local career agencies, Department of Labor, things of that nature, to be able to help find our local talent. So, looks very small, but some of our common features of our project is focusing on job growth in neighborhoods. We also are going to be incorporating some car and van share programs. So for those who don't have access to public transportation or they're not able to have a car, we're working on doing some partnerships with some transportation companies so that they can have the car and van share opportunity to help people get to work and get to school. Furthermore, we're going to be educating people about the home buying process. We're very big on home ownership. So even though we'll be building new buildings, believe it or not, they're less costly than traditional construction, as you'll see later. And more importantly, home ownership means that people will take more ownership over their communities. So instead of doing a lot of rental properties, a lot of what we're going to focus on is helping people acquire homes. And lastly, our teams project are focusing on how can we partner with different organizations and agencies to come up with projects that benefit local communities. And so that's very, very important to us. Some other things that you'll see, we'll be doing community gardens, so shipping containers can be used for anything. A part of what we'll be doing in our new communities are actually building grow pods. The grow pods will have year-round growth of fruits and vegetables, which is great. Then people can also purchase locally, right here in our own backyard. And with containers, they can be anywhere. So it doesn't, as long as a container can be, transported down the block, we actually can put these anywhere. Some other things we're going to be looking into is entrepreneurships, encouraging our members of the community to not only work with us, but go through our apprenticeship program. We recently was approved to be a registered green construction apprenticeship program with the Department of Labor. So that was major for us. We just got that approval right before the holiday. And so that was a nice long 9-month process. And we're proud to say that we'll be able to begin hiring locally now. We're also going to educate on how to invest. So part of that is not only the investment of home purchasing, but in other things that's in your community. Being a business owner, maybe even having a nonprofit that can help build up the community. More communal-based projects that will help people become more self-sufficient. And last but not least, communication training. If people don't know what you're talking about and you don't know how to express and articulate yourself, it's gonna be really hard for people to help you. So we'll be hoping to do some of that within our training as well. Proudly presenting our Green Building Apprenticeship Program. Again, we were just approved right before the holiday. And so what that means is we've already partnered with Central Georgia Tech and Penn Foster as our education partner. So what that means is people who are locally, if they want to join our apprenticeship program, they will go through Central Georgia Tech, start their education piece, and all their on-the-job training will happen through our agency, which is awesome. So we paired with Central Georgia Tech to compare what they're learning in class to the on-the-job training so that it matches perfectly. The ultimate goal of this program really is to help people, one, get higher wages. So everyone who begins with the program, they start at $15 an hour. By the time they graduate, they'll be at $35 an hour. So it's a 2-year program. Upon graduation, we'll be also helping them start their own business. So instead of working for us, we rather have them as a partner where we can help them outsource and give them subcontracts and help them build their business to truly become self-sufficient. So let's talk a little bit about who our customer is. With green construction and those who are interested in containers, typically they're green conscious, they're recyclers, they're the ones that are composting. They may not flush their toilet as much as other people because they want to save the water. Those are that type of person. They understand that the time to market is much shorter. We build houses in 30 days or less, whereas traditional building, no matter what type, typically is 30 days or more. They're forward thinkers. They understand that the use of a container actually is something that's a long-term strategy. Containers are windproof, waterproof, and fireproof. So with natural disasters, technically they last longer than any other house would on the block. And so even within our local community, a lot of people may not like the way that a shipping container looks, but they can look just like a colonial home. It's just a matter of changing the external features. Another thing about our typical customer is that they're smart about their money. They want to get the most for their money. This is not a sales pitch. You're more than welcome to look at my website, but our cost for containers and building a home is 40% less than traditional construction. And lastly, they desire modernity. What's special about the container is that you can have whatever you want in it, no different than your traditional building. But what people like who are green conscious is that the things that are going into their house are recyclable. The product itself, shipping containers. They're very durable, they're light in speed putting them together, believe it or not, and they're eco-friendly. So most containers are sitting at our ports right now doing nothing. And so we literally have relationships with ports all over the country where we're able to acquire these containers at a low cost because we buy them in bulk. And then quite naturally, because we're solving their problem, we're able to reduce the impact on the earth and the environment by not allowing those particular ones that we're purchasing to just sit around. They go into use right away. The day that we pick them up, they go right into production, and usually in 30 days or less, they're built out fully, we install them, it's ready to go once it hits the ground. Now, another part of what we do is what we call Enviro Smart Steel. So I'll slow down a little bit for Smart Steel because Smart Steel is special. It is truly smart. It's windproof, waterproof, and fireproof, just like the shipping container. However, Smart Steel can be used by itself. It does not have to be used with the shipping container. However, when it is combined, it's almost like a capsule. So what's special about the container by itself is because it's wind, water, or fireproof, if a fire occurs, if a flood occurs, or if there are high winds, you're safe. With the Smart Steel, even if you use that alone, it has the same durability as that shipping container. So we actually use that to replace ceiling walls and floors. So typically, most people, when you're doing traditional construction, you're using a lot of wood just to frame it out. You may use wood for your floors. You may use all kinds of other material, but Smart Steel is a great replacement for it. It's panelized. It's 2 pieces of galvanized steel with R49 foam, which is really, really high rating for insulation. And what allows for it to be this way is because everything is recyclable. The galvanized steel is recyclable as well. And the whole panel is recyclable. So something beautiful to see. I don't have samples today, but usually I would have the sample so that you guys can kind of see it and see how awesome it is. But it's an eco-friendly product as well, and the manufacturer for that is in Roberta, Georgia. Here's one of my homes that we built in Texas. So this is actually a 2,300 square foot home that's made out of all containers. So this is not a camouflaged home. What's special about containers is that some people actually like the way that they look just by itself, but more importantly, even if it was camouflage, so that means if we put siding or something else on the outside of it to not look so ugly, as some people would say, we actually are able to do that. So whatever that current community is, you actually can make it look like the houses that are in that community, but under it will be a shipping container. And so to the left of that is the smart steel. So smart steel actually is that galvanized steel with the R49 foam. So that's a piece of it cut in half so people can see what the actual look of it is. And combined with the shipping container makes it, again, a capsule. This is the smart steel used alone. So again, you don't have to use it with the container. Again, it's recyclable, it's green, and so because of that, you can use it by itself. It comes with anchors, so a lot of people, because they're not familiar with containers or the smart steel, they're like, I don't understand how to use it. Just like you would use anything else, how you would anchor your frames and your wood and anything else in a traditional construction project, it's pretty much the same way. It comes with all of that. What's special about it is pre-cut to the specifications of that particular house, which is great. So it comes ready for windows to be popped in, ready for utilities to be popped in, and literally, if once it's delivered, it's set up in about 3 to 6 hours at max. And once it's put together, just like puzzle pieces, it's ready to go. You can paint it, plaster it, whatever. Another key feature of our construction projects is solar energy. As you all know, times are changing where more people are wanting to be more cost effective with energy. And so this particular product was something that was made at MIT. It actually was an invention that never came to market. And I was lucky enough to be able to meet with the inventors, and they're looking to partner with us. The goal for us is to go from site built to plant built. So by being plant built, we can also create these same things inside our plant, where these little, as small as they probably are like the height of these chairs that we're sitting in, and their output is 20 times higher than your traditional solar energy panel, which is great because most people are looking for cost savings. And when you combine this with the smart steel that's recyclable and the shipping containers that is wind, water, fireproof, meaning, you know, you save a tremendous amount of money, not just for energy costs, but construction costs as well. Another key feature of our homes that we'll begin using are Kangen water machines. We're calling them Kangen water machines. They're alkaline machines. So again, when we're talking about the health of the inhabitants, so if you guys have kind of followed why green is so important, the end user, which is us, typically a lot of people don't understand that your allergies that you may have is because you may be allergic to your home. Allergies aren't always born. Sometimes over the years of your life, you start to develop allergies. You never really realize why that's happening. Typically, it's because you grow up being allergic to your carpet, or allergic to wood, or allergic to drywall, the things that our building materials are made out of. And that's also a reason why we don't use certain things in our construction for that same reason. There's a whole population of people who have super sensitive immune systems that can't even breathe in this type of room because of what this room was made out of. And so we're trying to focus on how can we create a healthier environment, and these machines are alkaline creating machines. I was giving an example while I was sitting at the table that recently I had bought some blueberries, I won't say the market's name, and they were terrible. I said, what is going on here? And so what's special about this machine too is it has an option for you to be able to clean your fruits and vegetables. Also, it has an option for you to clean your house with. So you can change the pH level on this machine, and it can be used for what you need it to use for. It has a beauty water feature. You want to wake up beautiful? Guess what? You can change your setting on your machine and use it as a beauty cleanser for your face. It also has neutral pH for times that you just need it to be neutral. And the stronger the pH is, the better it is for your body. So the reason why alkaline water is so great is because it actually increases the body's ability to fight off things, but the more alkaline your body is, the lower it is chances for viruses, bacteria, and infections to live. And so for us, If we install these lovely machines in our plumbing system, which would typically be on like a kitchen sink, this is a way for our end user to be healthy even outside of our building practices. So, who benefits from what we do? Everybody. Any person that builds with us, we have builder partners. We have other companies that build shipping containers as well that we're partnering with. We have architectures that's all they do is build container homes and pretty commercial structures. And their overall cost is lower because of how short of the time and less amount of material that we need to build out our houses. The customer, cost-wise, financial cost-wise is lower, as well as time. Because to market is about 30 days, it takes less time for them to build housing, meaning they can get back into their regular lives very easily. And then the environment, because everything we're using is reducing the overall carbon footprint, it allows for us to combine with the solar to almost have a zero net house, which is very important as you're looking at being in a green world, in a not so green world. So I don't know why my little things aren't popping up, but these are some other uses. Commercial, residential, group homes, luxury housing, disaster areas, and accessory dwelling units. Some other awesome things to take into consideration that we're working on is our LEED certification. So what that means is that we'll be green certified. All our houses will be green certified. So we'll have that stamp of approval from the government saying that everything we use in there is majority green, and that it will allow for that customer or end user to benefit from the overall health benefits of that type of home. Grow houses that can be used, so when we're talking about farming and agriculture, when it comes to Rotary, I saw some great things in our mission that focuses on that. You can do aquaponic and hydroponic, it's self-sustaining and it's automated if you set it up the right way using a container. Again, as I told you guys before, it's fire, wind, and mold proof, it's structurally sound, and it improves the indoor environment for those who live in them. The materials are low hazard, recyclable, it improves your health, and more importantly, utility efficiency is very important. So when we talk about saving money, green is the way to go. So, this is how our company in general is helping our community, so that you now know about me here in the Macon, Georgia area. We're helping do affordable housing projects that will be readily available to all residents. So we are not going to discriminate with any of our projects. If they want to live in there, we will find a way to help them afford that particular home to be able to live in there. And that's where the financial literacy is. We do have a partnership with Operation Hope. We have some partnerships with the parole, probation, and veteran departments. It's a lot of different entities that we partner with so we can help special populations. We're hoping to create transitional housing as a way to help aid people in self-sufficiency. So that's very important in this day and age, especially with COVID. I was looking for an apartment a couple months ago. I contacted 30 apartment complexes. None of them ever contacted me back. I would be homeless if I didn't get more aggressive and just start knocking on apartment complex doors and say, hey, I need a place to live. However, at this time, so many people have been abandoned and are struggling to find quality housing, nevertheless affordable housing. And so what we're hoping to do with the plots of land that we're buying throughout the state and out this county is to build more housing. That's our #1 issue in the United States and abroad, housing availability and affordability. So our goal is to help people through creating transitional homes and building sustainable houses. More importantly, we want to help people with homelessness and poor quality housing. As I moved here and started doing more research, I'm a data-driven company. I noticed that the quality of housing is significantly lower here in the state of Georgia than some of the counterparts that's right around us, Tennessee, Florida, as well as Mississippi, believe it or not. I don't know why that is, but when I did my research, I found some alarming statistics. And so we want to help people avoid that. And so that's a part of the reason why I also partner with the parole, probation, and veteran organizations to assist with that as well. And lastly, we want to create new businesses through our apprenticeship program. Again, we have that teacher-student component, but we want to create more business owners so that we can stimulate the economy here in Macon-Dade County. I would like to really see the city thrive. I was very impressed. Been here for 6 years. I'm not going anywhere, I bought a house, sold a house, I guess I'm here to stay. And so I would really like to see it grow the way that it needs to grow. And it's not hard to do, believe it or not. It just takes a little bit of everybody's big brains being put together and us coming up with some type of collaborative partnership to help us move ahead as a city. And sometimes it's through entrepreneurship. And with that, here's some examples of our work. So these are some interiors of our kitchen and our living rooms. And that's the container home that you guys saw. And again, the one to the left is a fourplex, and it looks like a colonial. It looks like your traditional construction home. We just changed the outside. This is another single family home. That's a container as well, believe it or not. So we have to trick you guys sometimes to like containers. And then this is some renderings of some tiny home communities that we would like to start here in Georgia. This here, they're smaller, they're about 320 square feet. That will allow for people to live independently but still together in the community. And this is also a container. We have to hide it sometimes from our municipalities because they don't like the way they look. So we have to get creative. And this is some commercial ones we did. This is a multifamily to the far left, and this is an actual bar that was in Boston. And this just kind of explains the same way on how we can help improve our challenges. And that is the end of my presentation. I thank you guys for listening. Do we have any questions? Sure.
Are there any zoning issues that you have to overcome to put a container on your property or add on to your existing property?
Great question. There were a lot of challenges, especially here in Georgia. Believe it or not, containers have been here in the Atlanta area for about over 15 years now. There's some triplexes and some restaurants. They're getting more and more creative. No, there isn't. I have an excellent architect that gets us 100% approval rates. Like, I'm very impressed by my sister. She is very good at what she does. And we haven't had any issues. The greatest challenges was about how it looks. So that look that people don't like, they don't like that part of it, or they were concerned about whether or not it was traditionally built to upstand code. And we have not had any issues, not in the past 2 years anyway. And our partner, who has the architectural firm that we partner with, she's very thorough. So anything that they ask for, her turnaround times, what else you need? Just like that. And they're like, wow, you guys are lightning fast. They expect you to have more roadblocks or not be able to be able to answer any code enforcement questions, but we have not had any issues. We have yet to go against Bibb County, so I'll keep you posted. Yeah, I've heard that before. We're gonna pray about it.
Similar question, but what about mortgage lenders and how they react to your product?
It's considered new construction actually, so that's not normally an issue. Some issues we have had in the past was appraisals because there's nothing to compare it to. And so part of what we'll be doing down here is actually building enough of them where we are comparing to our own houses versus having to fight against something that's not there at all. So that was a challenge to the appraisal process.
What's the size of an average container? And do you have to build your houses in a multiple of containers, like 3 containers or 4 containers, so you're confined to the actual space of the container itself?
So,
Jackson, will you repeat the question for the people who are
oh
on
yes,
Zoom?
hi guys,
Okay.
on Zoom. He asked, well, the first question was in reference to code enforcement and whether or not we had challenges there. We have a 100% approval rate based off our architect that we've partnered with. The second question was in reference to any other challenges that may come up as far as mortgages, appraisals. That was an issue usually, but new construction loans, that's not an issue for someone to acquire a house through this process. But appraisals was an issue, and so our goal was to actually build more houses that are containers so that we have something to compare it to. We have an awesome real estate agent locally here that's willing to take on that task to help us sell them. And then this question was in reference to, say that one more time for me.
The size of the actual container itself and how you build multiples of how many containers to build a house.
So a 40-foot containers, the living space is 320 square feet. So you multiply that about by the amount of actual space you want. And so most people start at 40 feet, and then they just stack them together or put them side by side. You can twist them around. It's just like Legos, guys. Seriously, it really is that easy. And so depending on how large you want your space is how many we will place together. And then from there, we will go begin that process. We build off-site, and then we come in and install, and then it's ready to go as soon as we actually install it. And that's usually in less than a day.
Is a container-built home considered a mobile home or a permanent fixture? I mean,
It's permanent.
It's a permanent.
Yes, they're actually on slabs. They are mobile if they had wheels, like a mobile home, but because ours are permanently affixed, they are permanent structures, and that's also why people can get approval for those as well, because they're permanent.
So you probably don't have figures on this. Could you estimate the cost of grow pod?
I recently was looking into that. A grow pod, he asked about a grow pod. So grow pods are used to actually farm indoors, kind of like a greenhouse, but it's using a container, and you have an aquaponic or some hydroponic features. So if you want to use fish, water, and nutrients, you build it up in like a vertical wall, and your fruits and vegetables grow abundantly all year round in them. They're amazing. And so cost-wise, anywhere from 20 to 50,000. If you don't have a lot of automated stuff, probably closer to about 20, maybe 15 to 20,000. But if you want some fancy stuff in it with like the higher end LEDs, and some people like automated systems like automated temperature, automated watering, all of that, it gets a little costly. Any other questions, Margaret?
A lot of communities have gone to these kinds of containers for their at-risk populations. Are there any in the Middle Georgia area that are like tiny home communities? I've seen different cities have set up for homeless veterans or for transitional homes for different groups. Are you working on any, or have you had any projects that have been built related to those groups?
We have not, but we're working on some actually. A part of some of the land acquisition that we're looking at is to build some transitional homes for at-risk populations. We have talked to some veteran organizations, we've talked to some ex-offender. I know everybody's not too excited about that, but they need a place to live too, for them to become self-sufficient and get back on their feet. And so those are some of the two main groups of people, but this can be used for anybody. So literally, disaster recovery, COVID patients over at the hospital, anywhere from the homeless people in general. They don't have to be veterans, but this is a great way, even if you already have existing space. I think someone asked about that. As an accessory dwelling unit, it's the same process as if you were building onto your home. And so this is great for people to actually, if they wanted to start a little group home on their own property, if they already own it, they have enough space for it. It's easy to create a group home. It could be assisted living, anything you can imagine, you can create these two. I am talking to 2 organizations that is interested in that for the mental health population specifically, and for veterans. They already have the land. It's just a matter of getting the financing to get it started. But I hope and pray that, Georgia adopts PACES, because people who own land, you could do green improvements through the PACES program for residential and commercial, but Bibb County hasn't adopted it yet. So if that's something that could benefit us, the PACES program is like the #1 federal energy government program that could help people, and it stays with the property. So what that means is you'll get that loan. It's anywhere from 5 to 20 years. It stays with the property itself, not the owner. So if you sold it off, that loan will stay there. So it's kind of built into your real estate taxes, and it's low interest. It's very beneficial. So I hope that we get to have something down here, because I've seen a lot of states and counties benefit from having that program. We just don't have it. And it will help a lot of people be able to improve their properties with green practices, very low costly, and be able to kind of improve their environment at the same time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I mean, that's basically just a new building material.
Yeah.
If you think 50 years down the road,